We all face challenges, right? Changes. We know changes are constant. So to me, that explains somehow the passion that I have for talents, because to me, the only way to react, anticipate changes, is to develop your talents and to build what I call a learning organization. Value-based selling for us is a journey that actually started during COVID, and I hope to explain a little bit more to you what I'm doing here today. I'm not here to teach anything, to impose, to sell any concepts, and I acknowledge the difference within the companies that we have here, the people and the talents that we have in this room. So hopefully you take one or two things that you take back home and you implement that will help you in your own journey. So I love to talk to newcomers at RX, and I do love to talk and give speeches and have conversation with high school graduates and first-year students in universities in Brazil and close, Mexico and close to the office in Connecticut. The two questions that I always get from them are, first, what keeps you awake at night? And what really keeps me awake at night is the trade-off was supposed to be a trade-off between personalization and scalability. So how talents and customers are demanding uniqueness, the way we treat them and know who they are by name, versus a company that needs productivity, need to scale the resources that we have, the talents that we have to maximize profitability. Unfortunately, this conversation today is no longer an either-or conversation. It's how you're going to do it. The second point is really, they ask the question, what do you really do when I talk to high schools? What do you really do in the end? And I think what I really do, at least on my side, is to manage expectations. Expectations is 100% related, one-on-one correlation with satisfaction. So I do have to manage expectations with my clients. I do have to manage expectations coming from my talents, stakeholders, bosses, wives, family, and don't forget, yourself, right? Don't exclude yourself out of this equation. Very important. So the journey for us on value selling really started during COVID. I mean, we all reacted. We all did. We found new ways to shift revenue from point A to point B. We were searching for solutions in the market to run virtual events and to serve our customers better. But to me, personally, the aha moment came a couple of months after COVID started, and I was listening to a Delta Airlines earnings call, and I realized that Delta would not survive without airplanes. Events is what we do. So that's our airplane. We will need to go back to events in order to survive, which doesn't mean that we'll not push for digital transformation, right? We'll not leave that aside, because Delta has done an amazing job, I mean, either launches or, I mean, give you points or recognizing who you are and how they give you, you get an extra seat or a better seat during your travel. So the two are not mutually exclusive. So that was the first thing that I realized. The second thing that I realized very quickly, trying to serve our customers through digital events, is that proving value was here to stay. The digital transformation really pushed that to us, and it is here to stay. And we realized at the beginning of the journey for us was at that point, so we could create a company that were more conscious in terms of value creation and value capturing mentality. So what is really value-based selling? I mean, everybody can talk about value-based selling. I want you to keep in mind four things, four words here, for our concepts. First one would be, don't rush to rebooking. I mean, the goal here is really to get the next meeting with your clients and deepen the insights. And second, multi-threatened decision makers and influencers. Move from one or two single points of contact in the company to 3, 4, 5, so you really understand what they need and start building a consensus of the next show and the next cycle, adding digital, that you need to deliver to your customers. Of course, the third point is understanding their needs, and that is very, very hard. We'll talk more about this later. Fourth is set prices based on those values and not rushing again to discount just to renew based on location. The location that you have is a tool to play with your clients so you can have an extended value conversation up to the point that you can close and create a better relationship with them, managing and understanding expectations. So how have we at RX not done it, how we are doing it, because this is a never-ending journey, okay? Let's separate in two pillars here: tools and technology, processes and talents. Technology. Yes, we have made a decision. We have relics behind. They supported, but you can do it through vendors. We made the decision to own the data from really creating an exhibitor directory. We're investing in our own registration tool. To me, I mean, I keep saying that to my team. Registration is where everything starts and ends. So I'm passionate about registration, and I truly believe we have made the right decision. Digital incentives to attendees, to exhibitors, connecting both. So we have it all, and we'll have more, all supported by our data lake that will connect the data, and they'll help us to craft the data and help us to deploy the data through insights. The other piece is really about process. Very important. So you start having the athlete mentality that you really train your team, and that will take months and months and months of them doing the same thing up to the point that they will understand and start improving. So 7 steps of sales readiness. Every year, of course, we plan the show next year, and we look at the data, the insights, the learnings. But here I'm talking about a piece of that journey that we call the sales readiness piece. So I have here 7 steps, but there are a few of them that I really want to talk to you today. One is event value proposition. Very important. The way we used to do value propositions to show to your boss or to show a very beautiful statement that will be awarded somehow with something is not effective. You need to create a value proposition that your sales guys can sell. Period. Right? If you want to create one for exhibitors, one for attendees, do it. If you want to break in more than one segment, like we did for one of our healthcare shows, we have 6 or 7 different value propositions for those communities, do it. But your sales guy, your sales talent need to understand what he's selling. So working on the value proposition is critical. Second, create a limited inventory of products that are really unique, solution-based, to offer to a limited number of clients. The journey that I'm going to prove to you today is a 12-month journey, ended in April, going back 12 months. We selected 140 clients back there, so we could use the value approach with each one of them, and then I'm going to prove to you that that is working. Okay? Third point is really how do you create a need-based package solution to your clients and how you allocate your sales force. So I'm not going to spend more time here because we will talk about some of them in the next slides. All right, behavior, talent. What have we changed in terms of hiring and behaviors in our sales force? Hiring process, we moved from hiring people from the event industry really to focusing on talents, on the talent itself. His or her ability to really sell value, to really convince the passion that he has for the company, to join the company. And we actually do not require any degree at all. We moved from only internal referrals and postings to outsourced talent attraction. So we selected one search firm that has been helping us to do to put some job fairs in the market, 3 or 4 through the year, so we can select talents on a constantly basis. We're hiring actually more than we need constantly because we know we'll lose some because, I mean, they'll leave to make more money out there, or they are not performing. We move from one-on-one interviews to group decisions. So we have 3 or 4 people making the final interview. We don't leave to the boss only to make the final call. And on the behavior side, we want our team to move from just having opinions about clients to really have facts and data, to really have product training, to have team role-playing, extensive, constant team role-playing. So when you sell value, you have to look to the side, to your peer, and see what he's doing. So we record that, and we were able to share, and they are able to do with themselves to see what tools and what language or what words that they are using that are more effective. So the role-playing is way more important than just putting a paper for them to understand the product that they are selling. They were complaining about lack of clarity over career, all complaining. I mean, oh, I don't understand where I am, where I can go, I mean, what do I have to do? So we implemented a feedback process in place, and we're really pushing all of our talents, not only the sales, to create their own opportunity. So they really have to own their journey inside the company. We used to reward targets for sales, and now we're rewarding overachievements. We have people that made last year over 300% of what they could, and that's fine. And in the end, we're going to move from transactional sales to really customer need mentality. All right, if you're going to talk to sales, you need to find a common language, and the common language is money, right? We all know. That is an average, and I hate averages. I like ratios. I don't like average, but for the sake of the presentation, I think that helps. We haven't touched the base. We actually increased the base over market. So they move from having a potential to make 25% when they plan next year with the potential to make 33% more in his base or her base. But we also uncapped the sales commissions. So we have people making 140, 150% on a regular base. And we have people making over 300%, like I said before. So how do we measure really effort? I mean, my background is more of an athlete than anything else. Than I didn't do well in school, to be very honest. If you look at my GPA, it's very poor. But I talked to my mother about this. Don't tell my kids, please. But we created a dashboard for value-based selling. And I want to give you a few examples. I don't want to go over all the numbers, of course. But we want to give them tools to understand the rule of the game. So how do you really measure effort? You measure effort by measuring what I call engagement. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of what we measure. So right now we understand how many calls they are making. That's fine. But we also need to understand the length of the call and the meetings. How long they're really spending with those 140 clients. I want to go back to that number again. How much more time they are spending with those clients. Second point to measure engagement. How many points of contact they have in the company? Oh, I know Lori. Fine. Who else? Beyond marketing. I know the second person and this third person of strategy. Actually, I know the CEO. Actually, I know the head of sales. So we move from 1-2 points of contact to 4 or 5, and having constant conversations so you really understand and close the gap of what they need. And need is the third part, and it's very hard. Needs assessment is harder than closing a deal. Okay? Keep that in mind. It is. Making sure you have proper needs assessment is very tough for them, because they still don't have the mentality. They haven't been trained, but they are, and they will get there. So that's an example of measuring effort. So let's talk again about needs. Let's do some exercise here. How are we doing that? We have created, of course, products, digital products, solutions, and we have bundled those solutions in 4 different buckets. Why I say 4? Because when I talk to my clients, I need to understand that we have objective expectations and we have subjective expectations. Subjective expectations is all the fun that we bring, right? The drinks, the lunches, the dinners, after parties, and that counts. especially Ken, I think for the younger generation, it is very interesting, and you can help me later on the Q&A to address that, because how this has, been more important for them than it used to be for our generation before. So on the objective expectation, we grouped all the products into 4 really solutions: lead generation, brand awareness, product launch, thought leadership. And we went further and have created what we call an exhibitor dashboard. So we could prove to them, based on numbers, each one of those decisions that they have made, how much they have invested on each one of those product launches, brand awareness, lead generation solution, or they just pick one of them besides the space. And we need to be able to prove to them through data how they have performed during the shows and after the show. And most interesting, how they compare with the other players in the show, how better they did or worse. And then we have to have discussions like, of course you did worse. We've been talking to you and you have not fulfilled your product list on the exhibitor dashboard, on the Atlas dashboard, so we could really sell your products and prove that you have a new innovation coming. So you also haven't done your homework. And although we have Manila on the back of us, an RX supporting us, fulfilling those product needs and product information for our clients, we need to push that journey to be a self-service journey in the end. They need to understand the value of doing that in advance and doing it properly. So this is one example of the exhibitor dashboard. This is the second one that we really, on the brand awareness, we go to the market and we understand social media impacts, websites, and all that stuff. And we can go back to them and prove the impact that we have for them during the show and after the show. So what's next, right? What's next? So what's coming now? Now that we are training our sales team, I really want to build a value-based selling portal. And the best example is McDonald's, right? So very simple, very easy to understand. You just push products here and there. So I want them to select 20 clients, and the sales director will approve those clients. And they need to identify the needs, really understanding, based on conversation, the needs of the clients. And we need to quantify the need, the saving, or the benefit. That is the hard part. How much I'm really saving for them? How much more margin or revenue I really can deliver to my clients over the next digital and physical journey that we can provide to them. Then you build a solution package based on that, a la carte, different than McDonald's. So we will have a self-service McDonald's option for the small clients, but if they want to have an a la carte conversation, that's what I want, because I move pricing from the conversation completely. And then I can give freedom to my sales guy to actually charge more, because they have proved value with the exhibitor dashboard and the value conversation, and they will get a better commission in the end, and my customers will be happier. And third will be, we discussed the value pricing. The second phase of the portal will be automating the portal with generative AI, so we could have recommendations of words, statements, value proposition, things that they have identified as a need, and how can we play with that, offering my sales team, my sales talents, tools to really have a convincing conversation and support, and through data, the statements, the claims, and the sales conversation that they are having. You really want to move your sales team from just talking to asking questions and listening. And last but not least, what I want to do is really connect the exhibitor dashboard with the value-based portal, so we have the complete journey, micro journey of value creation and value capturing within the sales team. Is that really working? 12 months after, for 140 clients. So I'm going to prove to you that it's really working. Based on effort, I have 40% more engagement, contacts, calls, length of conversations with those clients that I used to have before. I'm comparing same clients, okay? Same 140. Second, we have improved by 15% the number of contacts we have within the companies with our clients. We're selling 5% more products to those clients. We're selling 10% more digital revenue to those clients. The average price per customer is up 30%. Go back, I'm just selling 5% more products and I'm up 30%. That means that I remove pricing from the conversation. Another piece, margin per customer has improved by 50% over those 140 clients. Now, looking forward, are we happy? The average NPS for those 140 clients is 20 points higher. Okay? So it is working. I want to show you, just to finish, and I want to thank you again for the opportunity to be here. I'm really grateful. Really what we do, right? The solutions we have. This is an example of ISC West Security Show 2022. I mean, this is us, right? So this is ISC with exhibitor registration. Then visitors registration globally. Then profiles views of exhibitors from attendees. And then lead scans during the show. And this is the summary of all the connections you guys do in each and every show that we run. Thank you again for the opportunity.